Hello everybody, welcome back to Rover project. Okay, we can't do the ball joint or anything out at the moment because we've ordered the parts in and they haven't arrived. So we're actually feeding the lever at the moment, giving it a clean, feeding it up because it was drying out. This is one which has roughly been done. So we're just letting it all the chemical soak in, and then we'll give it another feed again afterwards, so it'll have about 2 feeds. This is one we got in soak at the moment with soap on it to get all the dirt and grime out. So it's just soaking in for the moment. So we've got a band of different projects chemicals we're using. We're using this cheapy bottle of crap for a minute. We spurted it all on and just letting it soak in. And then we got the Rover stuff, the auto glam. And then we got some lever feed, which you go on afterwards. And this stuff, it's not too bad actually for what we paid for it. It's just to help it on, try and keep the lever from drying out too much, because with this weather we got at the moment with the sun, the car's all shut up, doors are not open, or the windows down, so it's all drying out inside. So it's getting a bit hot in there. Let's go over to the car. So at the moment we just took the back ones out at the moment, and then we'll give the parcel shelf a clean down, and then we'll take these ones out. We'll leave the center armrest in. We'll do that in the car, probably with the same with the driver's seat and passenger seat. Leave them in the car and do it, but you can feel the heat in the car now. It's quite warm in here. The sun's been baking on it. If you can remember in one of my other videos, the front grille had a split in it, had a chunk took out. So I actually, amongst all the collection of spare parts what came with the car as well, I've got another grille. I just got to take this piece off here, which is just a couple of clips, so that'll come off. So I got another grille, so I'm glad of that. Yeah, so we're still waiting for the ball joints to turn up. Like I said, it's a good company we order it all from, but they're just not fast on their delivery. That's the only problem. But still, it's always been at the moment, it's been bad weather. We've only had about 2 days of sunshine at the moment. So and the door's all shut nice, as you can see. Like I said, the doors and bodywork still needs doing on this car. But yeah, we're still looking into this, but all the noise seems to be coming from this top ball joint. I mean, if you put your hand on it and turn the steering, get somebody to turn the steering, that is, you can feel the play in that ball joint. So if that don't cure it, then I just have to go through everything on this one side and completely strip it down. But a big thank you to everybody who's commented and came out with some good ideas. I mean, there was one guy who commented and said, is it the engine mounts? No, it's not the engine mounts, because the engine's not running and it does all the noise when the car's stationary as well. So we can actually rock the steering and hear the noise, so we don't have to be driving the car to hear the noise. Another big thank you to the chap who messaged me and said, stick a long screwdriver on there and put it up against your ear, see if you can feel the noise. Well, I can put my hand on it and I can feel it vibrating through. So I think this top ball joint is dried out because this seal didn't have a clip round it. I put that clip round it, and I think he dried out in there too much and probably gone rusty on the ball. And I think now it's metal to metal, because we are winning with this car, because the track rod end right down in there, which has now been replaced, that one had play in it. The steering arm had play in it, so I reckon this one side had a lot of play on all the joints. I reckon it had been, where the tyres have been flat, I reckon it had been leaning on one side and all dried out. So it's not a problem, I'll get there in the end. So, and a big thank you to all the people who have said don't get rid of the car, carry on with the project. Big thank you to those. Because yeah, I want to get this car done. I want to move on then to the tyres, the exhaust, and then, like I said, the bodywork a bit later on. so I'm not too worried about the bodywork for the minute. I just want to get all the car up and running properly on the key. Take it to a couple of restoration shows which are local to me, and then probably next year I'll probably start on the bodywork, or I might even start on the bodywork this year. We'll see how things go and how we how we get on with the car. But yeah, a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed at the moment. That is super duper. I think we're up to either 55 or 56 subscribers. And yeah, super big thank you to all of you, and for all your support and all your comments and everything. It means a lot to me. You've all commented and said basically, don't part with the car, carry on, you'll get there in the end. Thank you very much for everybody who's commented. It just little things like that has cheered me up really, because on that day I was having a bit of a bad day, a very downer. So yeah, like I said, I'm not a well person, so things like that do cheer me up and keeps me going. So a big super duper thank you. Anyway, I'm not doing it, the wife's doing the interior. I'm just making the coffee today, so we're letting all this soak in, so we're just going to give it another squirt. Or if you took it off, you haven't took it off, so give it another squirt. We'll give it another squirt of this stuff. Give it this cheapy stuff, because it's drying in a little bit, and see if it gets all the grime and dirt out. Don't be stingy with it, just spray it all on. Like I said, this is a cheapy one for a minute. We'll spray the good one on a bit later on. Yeah, so we got our bucket of soapy water as well to give it a wash down a little bit, and like I said, there's one done over there. It's had a feed and everything on it, so it looks a lot better than what it was. It's never going to be 100%, but it's going to look a lot more tidier. So yeah, it needs as the wife just said, it needs a colour put into it, because if you can see just here, you can see where the sun's faded. So that'll be the next thing we'll do. We'll get the colour feed for that later on. Get it all back up and make it look more newer. This is just what we're doing at the moment is just to help it on. Just like I said, it was drying out in the car with the sun baking on it all the time. So we'll come back to you in a short while and let you have a good look at all the seats, hopefully. Okay, welcome back. Okay, we've done all the back ones, getting them to clean up the best we can, and soaked them in leather cleaner, and stuck the feed on, soften the leather back up, and they have gone nice and not so hard anymore. They're nice and softer now. But I'll give them, as soon as I put them back in the car, I'll stick another coating on, because God knows when the last time they were done. So yeah, that's the back one's done. So we've just got middle armrest has been done inside the car. So the front passenger seat is now just having a soak in cleaner. So yeah, that's all going to be done in the next few minutes. Mrs. just gone off to get some fresh water now. So yeah, hopefully, it's the driver's seat is the worst really. It's really grotty and grummy. Whether or not it'll come up, that's another thing. But she's left all the spray on there to soak in. We got the door cards to do, but we probably might be able to do them today. Might have to do them another day, because we got Mrs. got to shoot off later on, because she's got to take her mum to see her sister, which is my Mrs. Auntie, because she ain't got long to live. She's been diagnosed and she's only got a short time to live, so maybe a month, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. Yeah, so that's bad news. So that's It's not good. So in the meantime, this just, like everything, takes your mind off of all the bad news. Gives you something to do. So yeah, that's all being done at the moment. So that's all soaking in. Sorry. So once the missus comes out with a nice bucket of hot water again, she'll give them a wash down. Hopefully, some of the dirt might come out, but I don't expect half it to come out really. I expect it to stay in because they are that driver's seat is the worst really. I mean, very dirty black. It's got right into the leather, right into the pulses of the leather. Passenger seat is not too bad. It's dirty, but not as bad as the driver's one. That was another thing as well. The missus gave a clean up there as well. She gave it just a quick clean. So that looks a lot more better. And so there's a little armrest in the middle. But we'll have all the interior out later on once I go to put a new carpet set in, because as you can see the carpets are faded as well. There's a bit dark there and light on the other side. So it's and where somebody's chopped and patched it and made a right mess of it really. So a new carpet set will go in later on, but that's the least of my worries for a minute. It's just protecting the leather, make sure it doesn't crack, split or anything like that, because the interior is very expensive to buy on these cars, as you know. But yeah, we are going to get there with it. Like I said, I was having a bad day the day I was doing the ball joints and the ball joint track rod end, sorry. So I was having a bad day. Too much bad news, so I didn't know what to do. Part with the car or keep the car, but we are going to get there with it. But we've had the noise again, and it happens even when you're climbing in and out of the car and you start rocking the car, you get the noise, the clunk noise. But you can feel a lot of movement up in this ball joint. You can feel a lot of clunking coming from it because it vibrates all the way down this shaft. So and there it is again. That's it there. That's the clunking noise. And now it's stopped again now. And it makes you wonder if it's the ball joint where when it moves on that arm it's got excess play in it or anything like that. So yeah, so I'm going to leave the missus to clean that seats up, and we'll come back to you in a short while. Hopefully you'll see a little bit of improvement. I can't say it looks super duper, but it look a lot better. And I've got to be careful because the battery life is going on this camera and I haven't got no spare batteries. So I'll leave it there for a minute and I'll come back in a short while. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Rover project. Okay, the passenger seat has all been washed, cleaned best we can. Put leather feed on twice, so I've rubbed it all in twice, and the leather's all softening up now. It's not so hard and crisp, so it's not dried out now, so it is softening up, but I need to do it again, probably a couple of times actually. The driver's seat, that's the best we can get it. Can't get it any better than that really, but it looks a lot tidier than what it was. It was a lot of grime and black grease or whatever it was in there, plus overspray from where he sprayed the panels on the car, and you can't burn the masking it up properly, and overspray's gone in there, so there's traces of primer and stuff like that gone over the seat. But still, it looks a damn sight lot more better than what it does, did before, sorry. Giving the dash a bit of a clean as well, just to make it look tidier, and the glove boxes, all door cards, have been had a good clean. We still got to try and sort these little nicks out, which I need sorting out later on. so all the interior will come out later on anyway. We'll put the new carpet set in later on, so we'll re-dye all the leather, because there is a couple of little splits in the leather which it needs sorting out. But it's a lot more tidier, a lot more cleaner than what it was. This is the little nick what's in the leather. It's nothing major. It's just a little nick just there in the leather there, and on the driver's side there's one just like down in the groove that's there, so that'll need sorting out later on. But this was just something to do today, just to give it some lubrication up on the seats, make them look a lot more tidier, and help them last a little bit more longer, because they were very dried. And now when you slide in and out the seats, you can feel yourself, you can feel it. It feels different sitting in the clean leather instead of sitting in dirt. I mean, later on we'll wash all the insides of the doors down later on, but I mean, there'll be a couple of doors I'm going to change anyway, so I mean, all that'll be probably resprayed later on anyway. Once I find some other good doors, driver's side doors, I mean, they'll need respraying anyway, because I expect they'll be different colours. There was a guy who had a set of doors, but unfortunately they were passenger side, so it's not the passenger side I need, it's more the driver's side. So yeah, so still looking for a set of good doors. But yeah, we've also got the smelly in there as well, and oh, I've also mended this bleeding, changed that as well. So now the sun visor now stays up, so that piece up there has been changed. So I had one in the spare lot, and the sun visors at the moment it's been staying up, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that it stays up altogether. But yeah, it looks a lot better. Right, well, I think this is it. Yes, I've been told off now next to my shoulder. The wife done this, the wife done this, I've done this. So I'm getting told off. So there's all my bits and pieces I've got to keep. I put that on there. So that's to put the wing back on and stuff like that. That's rubbish. Yeah, leave those bits of wire there. Take the old kitchen roll in. Yeah, so that'll be a wrap at the moment, I think. Until we get the ball joint turn up, and hopefully we'll get that noise sorted out. Which is being a bit of a pain in the arse, because it happens even when you're climbing in and out of the car. You can hear it go, cluttering, banging when you move up and down. Like, sometimes happens when you bounce up and down on the car as well. It's not doing it now, but earlier it did. But yeah, we'll suss it out. We'll get there. Like I said, we're not going to give up on it. We're going to get this bugger done. So, well, like I said, thank you to everybody who subscribed. All your comments are absolutely wonderful. It's cheered me up with all your comments. So yeah, a big thank you to everybody who's commented at the moment, and you're more than welcome to comment again. All I can say is, if you don't like the video, don't need to leave a thumbs down. Just don't bother watching them. That's all I can say, if it's not your cup of tea. So yeah, that's about it really. But yeah, so ta-ta for now.